In the beginning, there was only the void, an endless black chasm of nothingness. But from this void came the first giant, Ymir, also known as Eder, the frost giant. So they did what any reasonable immortal couple would do. And Ymir, always the nice guy, said sure. He gathered some lumber and built her a boat. But once Gaia was in the boat and set to leave, Ymir got cold feet. You know, because he was a giant, so his feet were probably quite large. As soon as Ymir saw her, he got angry and used it as a hammer to smash one of the partygoers into a pile of rocks. Now, most of the primordial beings were immortal, so smashing them into rocks didn't really hurt them all that much. However, there was one guest who was not immortal, Loki, the trickster god. He was actually Ymir's nephew, and even though Loki was immortal, his human mother died every year on the same day. He was angry that she had left him. And as the old saying goes, a giant's heart is like a stone and a giant's anger is like a storm. He went over to Gaia and convinced her to stop fighting. Then he turned to Ymir and did the same. And in some versions, they were fighting over a goat. But in this version, they were fighting over the love of another goddess. And Loki decided that he wanted to be with her too. Hey, if you like these myths, then check out the playlist where we take a deep dive into Norse mythology. And as a reward for helping everyone, Loki asked Gaia and Ymir to give him whatever they were fighting over, which they agreed to. So Ymir picked up a nearby tree and hurled it at Gaia, just barely missing her head. Anyway, he got cold feet and asked her to stay. But Gaia refused and sailed away into the distance. And Ymir was so furious that his nephew had stolen the woman he loved that he chased Loki and Gaia down in their boat, determined to kill them both. But they were too fast for him. They sailed away to a far-off land, and Ymir, exhausted from the chase, decided to settle down and start a family of his own. They started punching trees. Of course, since there were no trees around, their punches created trees. And after punching a lot more trees, Gaia and Ymir had created a whole forest. And then, well, they got bored. Now, Ymir wasn't just any giant. He was a primordial giant, one of the first beings to ever exist in this world. And when he awoke from his slumber, he found that he was not alone. There was another primordial being with him, a goddess named Gaia. So he did what any single immortal giant would do. He threw a massive party. He invited all the other primordial beings to his place for a feast. There was drinking and dancing and merriment. It was a great time. Now, Gaia and Ymir looked around at the formless void that stretched out before them, and they decided that it needed some decoration. Gaia missed her home in the endless void, so she asked Ymir if he could make her a boat so she could sail away. And Ymir, standing on the shore watching her go, realized that he loved her and wanted her back. So he did what any reasonably lovesick giant would do. He built himself a boat and set off after her. But Ymir was slow and Gaia was already far away. And by the time he finally reached land, she had already disappeared. Now, Ymir was sad that she was gone, but he had to move on with his life. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, Gaia appeared. She had come back, but the reunion was short-lived. But Gaia was not one to be outdone. She took a sturdy piece of wood from Ymir's boat, so when Loki saw the fight about to break out between his uncle and his friend, he knew he had to do something. Now, most versions of the myth say that the two of them were fighting over the honor of being the leader of the primordial beings. So then Loki and Gaia had a big ceremony where they smashed rocks into piles and called it marriage. He ended up marrying one of the giants who lived in that land, and they had a son, a very special son, the one and only Thor.